News Flash is brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still, fun papa fee.
Hi there. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on Prime Morning. We're grateful for your time. And this morning we're getting into News Flash. It's proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise. Still phones Papa Path here, and we're entreating you to go grab your gadgets from Franco Trading Enterprise. It's the best on the market, and we're available at branches. You can walk into it and get yourself a brand new television. If you also need some phones, you can get there and get some brand new phones as well. We're selling television screens of different sizes you can buy from us as well. And CCTV cameras to monitor your homes and offices when you're not around. It's Franco Trading Enterprise that you can get the best of quality from. And of course, those of you out there who want to also get refrigerators, if you want to get air conditions, it's the best place that you can get them. Franco Trading Enterprise says still phones, Papa Power Fear. We're giving you 40% discount on all accessories you buy from us as well. Call us on the numbers that you see on your screens, and also you can check us out on Google Play Store. The Franco Trading app is there, and once you're able to download it, you're on your way to getting all the info you need when it comes to Franco Trading Enterprise. Our website is www.francotrading.com, and that's where you can also download all the info that you need in terms of inquiries you want to make, and you can do business with us. Franco Trading Enterprise says still phones Papa Path here, the best of quality you can get. This morning, walk into our branches, and trust me, you will definitely appreciate the quality that we're giving you in terms of the gadgets that we're selling. Franco Trading Enterprise, still phones Papa Path here. Now this morning we're going to get into the front pages of the newspapers that we have over here. We'll get into our substantive issue, and we're talking about yesterday's unsuccessful arrest by the NIB, and you're looking at the way forward, what the minority in Parliament will be doing, the steps that will be taken to address this issue, and what Honourable Intim Fordjour will also be doing moving forward on this very issue. It started all the way from the flight saga, and then it's ended where it is right now. Now, what would the Speaker of Parliament also make of this situation? We'll be looking at all of that here on the show. You can send your messages and let us know what you think, your contributions this morning here on the show. And also, if you're 25 years, you can actually have access to Okada or tricycle or motorcycle if you want. But if you're below that, you will not be able to do so, because the Minister of Transport, Honorable Nipe, says that you would have to be 25 to be able to use a motorcycle or a tricycle for business, commercial purposes. Now, the association is not happy about it. They've slammed the government for this new measure they're trying to put in place. We'll look at that also here on the show. But let me introduce my guest in the studio, and then I'll go quickly on the front pages of the newspapers. Then we'll get into the issue. But you can send your messages ahead of time. Let us know what you think. We're streaming live on Facebook, so you can also drop your messages over there. Our WhatsApp line is active as well, so you can also send your messages over there, and let's have that conversation. Now, joining me this morning, so always, lawyer Kwame Jantuah is here with me. He's a senior member of CPP, and a lot of people are hoping that in the near future he becomes the flag bearer. Good morning. Good morning. I also have over here this morning Mr. Kwame Griffiths is the former director for the National Identification Authority. He's of the NDC here with me this morning as well. I hope you're good.
Yes, doing very well.
Missed you guys last week. I was everywhere. I was everywhere, in the Bono East and Bono North and all of those places, touring around the country a bit. But it's good to see all of you again. Honorable Dixon Adumako Kisi is here. I hope you're good.
So far. Though I'm not.
You didn't sleep well yesterday.
I'm not too happy, but we'll get into that later on.
Very well.
I'm not too happy.
Very well. Let me do the newspapers quickly and then we'll move into the issues for this morning. Now, the Ghanaian Times says that Ghana Czech Business Corporation President Woods Investors says Ghana has an enabling environment and Forestry Commission tax to rake in more revenue from ecotourism. And the TUC exposes privatizing state-owned enterprises and the High Court acquits discharges Gachikwesi. Security operative storm in Team Fordjour's residence. That's one of our major conversations this morning here on the show. And Bachi Kindergarten school children attend classes and the trees expedite action on the salvage vehicle importation ban. That's also captured at the back page of the Ghanaian Times this morning. The overseer is here and it says GRA exceeds Q1 tax revenue target, collects 41 billion Ghana cedis. That's captured on the front page of the overseer. He has Mr. Anthony Sapong captured over there, the acting GRA boss. And away from that, National Health Insurance Scheme receives 1.4 billion Ghana cedis boost. Honorable Nyakwampi is captured over there, speaking about that. Gachikwesi acquitted in dual citizenship case, and Labour expert applauds Mahama for halting retiree contracts. And Okada Riders Association rejects government's age threshold proposal. This was one of the topics we were looking at this morning as well. Scrapping e-levy will promote digital financial inclusion, says His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Now, away from that, the Daily Democrat is here, and it says that Sam George dismantles dubious NPP tech contracts. That's on the front page of the Daily Democrat. Yesterday, he had a press conference and spoke a lot about these issues, what he intends to do with SIM cards and all of that. Now, Feed Ghana project launch rescheduled to April 12, and Jato defies court vandalizes property at Medina, and Amabua targets full digitalization of Lands Commission, and Primpag and FOA and Unite to champion gender equality. That's also captured on the front page of the Daily Democrat. The last one for me will be the New Republic. On the front page, it says Peter's Aurora Empire Secrets Sex Scandal and cash reigns unveiled after arrest, and that's the issue on the front page of the New Republic. Justice prevails as North MP cleared after 3-year legal battle, and government drive to launch a new Ghana airline, and GUV meant cash flows over audits fears, and it's one story you can read. Page 4 has got a story on that. Galamsey showdown, Fix the Country movement rallies for May 1 protest. There seems to be a protest that will be rearing its head very soon, and you can read about all of it if you grab a copy of the New Republic newspaper this morning. Now, that will be all for the newspapers. So let's get into it and start off with our very first issue. Now, yesterday you saw that the operators of the National Investigative...
What kind of protest? Is it against Galamsey or for Galamsey?
No, this should be against Galamsey, Fix the Country movement rallies for... They actually for the repeal. I'm sure it's the repeal of the...
And where is it going to be held? In Accra?
In Accra, yeah.
In Accra.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't expect it to come this soon? But Fix the Country has
is it the demonstration that is going to get Galamsey off our books?
Well, it helps create the awareness of
I believe
of the
that the entire Ghana should demonstrate. Stop work.
How do we do that?
Why can't we do that?
That will give us the results.
Is it not killing us? Is Galamsey not killing us? It should give us the results we want.
But we've seen some of these...
If the entire country says, look, we cannot take this Galamsey, it is spoiling our water bodies, our food, our exports, everything. We shut shop. You think we won't push? We are dancing around this thing. We've been dancing around it for ages. Doesn't help anybody. It's killing us. While a small group of people just want to make money. How can you block a river? How? It boggles my imagination.
So the interesting thing, and I'm sure this one would even bust your bubbles more. Yesterday, one of the places, the forest reserves, that was actually claimed by the Lands Ministry, and there were about 9 of them, and they came to say that 7 of them have been completely reclaimed. One of those lands forest reserve has been taken over by tax again, armed tax. And Erastus actually went there, and it was crazy. He couldn't make any way into that place.
At the beginning of this thing, when President Akufo-Addo indicated that he's put his presidency on the line, some of us said, shoot to kill. Kill small of them. Shoot to. Now they have guns.
Very armed men.
Guns. Do we know where these people are from? Are they terrorists from other places? Because they know that they can make money to go do whatever they want to do. And we are sitting, twiddling our fingers, twiddling our thumbs. Shoot 2 or 3 of them. Their families will put pressure on them to stop. And we are messing with it. It will end the country called Ghana if we do nothing about it. Absolutely end. Isn't cocoa being affected today?
Yep.
Come this year, the EU, is it this year or next year, the EU is going to start testing our cocoa for all these drugs and all these chemicals. Does it help us? Very soon, we will be importing water. I remember 2016, 2017, 2018, we said we should be very careful. We are gradually getting there. And we are sitting doing what? Saying what? That we should pussyfoot around them. That is why yesterday, I said 2 days ago, I said on a channel which people were bombasting me, the president should be brutal with this. He should be brutal with this. There's no ifs or buts. If he finishes his term and we haven't gone a certain way where Galamsey is concerned in terms of stopping it, he has failed us too where Galamsey is concerned. He has to be hard. It can't go on like this. Look, for the past 5 days, I haven't had water in my house. What does that tell you? And we are spending money having to what? Purify the water better. And it doesn't make sense to me. And because, come in the future, because we would not be able to eat what we grow, we would now have to import because our food would be littered with chemicals. And you think that is right?
You don't even have the money to be
all right. Let's go on. Let's go on.
Your country is on a time when it comes to your
It will bring the end of this country called Ghana, because those who can travel will leave. And it will be left to those who can't do anything but to stay here. Look at the children that have been born in Galamsey areas. And we are sitting. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to you, maybe it makes sense to them. But for me,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it does. We're all very worried.
Pussyfooting around this thing. Why we are not being brutal about? I don't know. We say we are going to take out a law that stops people from. And what did we do? We say we amend it because it will affect what do you call it? The large gold mining company. How? Sorry.
No, I mean, when it comes to the issue of Galamsey, I'm sure throughout the week it's been on our conversations, and there's a need for us to actually take a look at it. But I want to start with...
Look, I believe that this Galamsey thing should be in the presidency. The president should take charge with the minister. It should be reported to him every day what is happening.
I'm sure they do, but...
It's not a question of sitting around the cabinet table and discussing, so, Mr. Boa, what happened here? Take control. Commander of the Ghana Army, take control and handle it. Let Ghanaians see that you've handled it. The same way you handled Dumso.
I don't know if you want to also make a comment on the Galamsey thing. I think it's of serious interest to all of us. So maybe before you delve into our very first issue with regards to what happened yesterday to Honorable Fordjour, you can.
Well, all I can say is that invariably the same people that were crying wolf now have actually brought the wolf to the people, in the sense that, I'm disappointed in the first 3 months of the administration with regards to the noise they were making, particularly about Galamsey. The steps they've taken so far, for me, are not loud, and based on the kinds of things they said about Galamsey when we were in, power, I'm rather disappointed. And one of the key things that struck me was the Chinese business or Chinese mining chamber, which took me by surprise in the sense that the checks and balances which need to be strengthened are not being worked on, but rather the embracement of more mining is what I am seeing. I was hoping to see strengthening of the EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency, with regards to water bodies, getting them clean. I was hoping to see more money put into Ghana Water Company so that we have, as it is, we need almost several layers of filtration so that we can get good cleaning water. I was hoping to see more money put into the awareness and the behavioral changes with regards to drug use around Galamsey sites. And I was hoping to see more campaign in terms of the adverse impact on health, which I think Lawyer Jantuah has just alluded to or added to, in the sense that people are being born without limbs, people are being born without eyes, people are being born without nose. So I was thinking that based on the noise that the NDC fraternity was making, they'll be so distant or removed from Galamsey. But rather, I think that we've rather had like a changeover of Galamseyers, in the sense that I have always said that Galamsey is our drug war in this country. And if you go to the places like Mexico, where drug is a huge deal, and the drug kingpins even have an army bigger than the country's army, we're getting there. And I'm deeply concerned, not from being political about this thing, but I think that it is rather dipping into from good to worse under the current administration, and I'm not being MPP about this. I'm talking from like a general perception for Ghanaians now, in the sense that it's like a free for all, too much right now, and your license is that if you have maybe an NDC card, you can do Galamsey, and that is not good. That is not good. So I was hoping that it wouldn't be as scandalous as it is now, where literally, when in the Chicago areas, when a drug bust goes on, then another group takes over the area, and I can almost say that is what is happening now. So if, quote unquote, there was a gang called MPP Galamseyers, they have been put aside, and then the NDC, and that is not what Ghanaians were asking for. They were asking that you come and you stop it, regardless of who is in power, who's affiliated to the regime. So until we take a bold decision as a country, and intel I have is that unfortunately there are more brutal foreigners involved
getting into it,
and that is quite worrying. It's a national security issue, not an NDC issue, not an MPP issue, and leading into the next 10 years, I think that we may have to put our political lenses away and take on a Ghanaian lens to attend to this. And we need specialized people who are literally focused on protecting our lands or resources. And as you can see, I mean, listen, the Gaza Strip is being fought, is geopolitical. Trump has made it so clear that his interest in Ukraine is largely minerals that are in the earth, and even with Greenland, same thing. So we need to wake up to the fact that this is literally war on our on our lands, and that is how we need to elevate this to a very serious level to protect our lands.
No, not to catch you. Yesterday, one of the NDC communicators was here. I mean, Lawyer Gideon, and he spoke about, we had this conversation about Galamsey. And according to him, there's a drastic measure that has been put in place by the president, which they can't talk about now because it's something that internally they are working on to ensure that they execute and execute it well. I don't know what you make of it, but he believes that the president is actually on hands when it comes to Galamsey. And their next action will be very drastic.
Okay, well, we live to see. But I'm speaking based on the past 3 months and my experience as a Ghanaian with regards to illegal mining, let me put it that way. And now I'm also of the opinion, to conclude, that, you know, Ghana is called Gold Coast for a reason. We have the deposits. And I'm of the school of thought that we need to be rather heavily invested in the human capital aspect. If the Galamseyers were being paid to train on better ways to mine, maybe they wouldn't go doing what they are doing. Because if it's 100 Ghana cedis a day, and you are giving them 100 Ghana cedis a day for 6 weeks to train them on better measures, maybe we'll be better off. And then I also think that Kwame Nkrumah's vision of KUST should have been very much aligned to gold mining technology, so that Ghana should have had the best gold mining technology or diamond mining technology. And we have underfunded that so much that it's becoming injurious. So what I'm expecting and hoping is that in the future, that we invest heavily in the human capital aspect, as in the boys who engage in this. You know, the alternative livelihood thing will not work because the revenues are not comparable to the Galamseyan. So if we can rather, you know, shy them away from doing Galamsey and train them 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever weeks, and be paying them. And then...
So they do the right way.
Yes, and then give them the necessary equipment in a conglomeratory type thing. I mean, I'm wondering how much money the Chinese bring. I mean, one individual brings to do Galamsey. And how come government may not be in the capacity to do that? And why must we have foreigners? We're always duping ourselves or selling ourselves, you know, for peanuts. And I think that has to change.
Okay. KMG, just to quickly add from where Doc took off, to be able to solve the political problem with regards to party members, we have 3 presidents alive, don't we? President Akufo-Addo, President Mahama, President Kufuor. Why don't they sit around the table? This is a national security issue. Put politics aside. Sit around the table. Let the people see you are united in dealing with this particular issue. Especially, for me, I'm not worried about those who are mining, the young people there. I'm worried about those who are financing. Go for them. Let us see positively, you go for them. The way the so-called
how much should arrest his own brother?
Those who I'm saying those who are financing Galamsey. It has to be done collectively. We have President Akufo-Addo, he has experience in it. We have President Kufuor, he has experience in it. President Mahama has experience in it. These are 3 leaders should be able to sit and deal with this particular situation. Okay. That will bring unity.
Okay. I'll have your take and then we'll move on to the
first of all,
issue.
Let me commend your team for the good work, you know, that you have done this week in exposing, you know, some of the realities on the ground when it comes to Galamsey. I also agree with my brother, Mr. Jantuah, for his position on this matter, that perhaps we should be more aggressive in dealing with Galamsey. And having said that, I want to also indicate that we've been in office for 3 months, and within these 3 months, we have chalked some successes when it comes to Galamsey. I am not saying that the problem is gone. It is a problem that is so crucial for our survival as a nation that we should be perhaps more aggressive than we have been. However, there were 44 forest reserves that had been taken over. Most of them, we have gotten rid of these Galamseyers in the forest reserve. There were, I think, 9 of them or so that were in total control by the Galamseyers, who were armed. Now, we got rid of, I think, about 7 or so. I don't have
9, and then you were able to get 7 of them.
7 of them.
7 of them. You've lost 1 now.
It was anticipated that these people, per their stubbornness, not from today, but, over the years, they would try to return. That is why the president put together the rapid response team to deal with these returnees in the forest reserves. So it wasn't like it snuck up on us. We know that they will try to do that because there's so much money involved in this Galamsey. And I want to recall what my brother said some time ago, that we should also, while we are chasing them in the field, we should also look out for those who are funding them, sitting in the comfort of, very expensive neighborhoods in Accra, funding them. We should also look at that.
So you know them?
I don't know. I'm just saying that.
How do you know they're in expensive neighborhoods in Accra?
Oh, but of course. The miners are in the best. Of course.
Okay.
Of course, what is expected.
Okay.
Now, you see, what I really, and let me also say that we took over when stability was 14,000, which is a measure of the muddiness of the water. The last time I heard from your own media outlets, it had come down to, I think, 9,000 or so.
Is it the best?
No, I'm not saying Rome was not built in a day. We are aggressively, that's what I'm saying, the government is aggressively dealing with Galamsey. And when my brother says that, foreigners have taken over and they are armed and they didn't fly in these 3 months. They've been here.
The last 8 years.
Yes, they have been here in this country. And we remember Aisha, what's the name? Aisha Wan, when the issues about when she was arrested, how she was led out of the country, came back, a lot of noise was made, we made a lot of noise about it, about how inappropriate you arrest a Ghanaian and put him behind bars and arrest a foreigner and then show him where Kotoka International Airport is. When he snuck back into the country and the National ID Authority issued a Ghana card to her in a different name, all these things happen. So let us not make it look as if, some NDC people, and I hear that NDC card members are, no, we are not doing that. We are not. The president has made it very clear. The last time there was a House meeting, he made it clear that he is not going to defend anybody who gets involved in Galamsey, whether it's a chief or a party executive or what have you, because Galamsey is killing us as a nation. So please, let us not behave as if it's snuck on us and we know there's a problem. And it is being dealt with. Not only driving them away, but there's also a plan to make sure that those young people who have gotten themselves involved are trained properly on how to safely mine or have other alternate way of livelihood. Because the shoulders they have gone to acquire in the forest, if they bring those shoulders here without any money in their pocket and a source of livelihood, it will not be augur well for all of us.
Okay.
So,
all right. So wrap up.
Been taken care of.
Okay.
And I think that we should commend the government for the bold steps that it has taken so far. When we had a situation where it was like a free fall under the previous administration.
Very well. Now let's take a look at this video, and it has to do with the unsuccessful arrest of Honorable Intim Fordjour yesterday. When we come back, we'll have our takes on that.
The party there. I'm sure he has some more update to give us. Let's try and see if we can hear from him on what more he's got to tell us.
What transpired is, I know you addressed it, but what transpired is your last response?
What the party there. I'm sure he has some more update to give us. Let's try and see if we can hear from him on one more hovering around on the street. You see on a story building there, some members of the public who are standing on the first floor of that story building, also catching a glimpse of the house as well as what exactly is happening on the street right here in front of Honorable Intim Fordjour's house. As far as the activities are concerned, no arrests have been effected. Elton.
All right, so those were images in the house of Honorable Intim Fordjour yesterday when the NIB actually went there to arrest him. It has to do with the flight saga and the suspicious cocaine flight saga. And yesterday, the minority leader in parliament spoke. Nana B also spoke as well. In fact, he actually thinks that the spokesperson for the government is supposed to be removed or sacked immediately because his words always contradict what the president has to say. I'll start off with you, Honorable Dixon.
Well, one of the key things to start with is that I think that we need to be mindful of the fact that you need a court order to enter people's homes. And you need that because the Constitution protects people in their various homes. And I'm waiting to see which judge granted them that relief to do that. Minus that, I think, not to say that members of parliament are supreme, but they have some privileges that I think the speaker, who is NDC, has laid out very clearly. Are we disputing
is that what it is? The speaker is not supposed to be.
No, the speaker is,
and he's always stated that.
No, I'm just
he's working for Ghana.
Well, agreed, but he is.
I think he's an NDC.
No. He has been NDC. Let's not dispute that.
Is he working in the capacity of an NDC man now?
No. Let me be very blunt. The speaker has worked with NDC, in NDC, for over 30 years.
Yes, but in this capacity as he serves.
And I think he's still a card-bearing member. So we shouldn't dispute that. I mean,
that granted, is he working in that capacity now? That's what I want to establish.
I'm saying that the speaker is NDC. And what I'm trying to get at is the fact that even him, this year, has laid out how you approach members of parliament. I hope you get where I'm coming from. In the sense that, he knows that his party is in power, but he's also laid out the rules of engaging members of parliament if any of the security agencies wishes to. In the sense that he's informed them that you need to seek that sort of relief from him. And he would gladly arrange for you to have any member of parliament who needs questioning. And he's even gone further to say that he would avail his office for that to happen. So I think that I'm troubled by the fact that not just having the court order, but a writ that has been put out by the speaker, making it very clear to security agencies how to approach his 257 members of parliament in terms of any, whether it's inappropriate communication or whatever it is that they deem fit to be the reason for questioning any member of parliament. Now, beyond that, I'm surprised that the rights of any whistleblower in this country has been trampled over. And I say this with the greatest of respect to the campaign for See Something, Say Something. I for now think that we're burying see something, say something now by virtue of what we're doing. And never have I imagined that if I supposedly report to police that I suspect a car moving to contain weapons, if the police should find no weapons, then they come arrest me for, quote unquote, thinking that there's a suspicious car with weaponry. This is very bizarre. And just to stretch, from weaponry, the fact that somebody had a, inclination to think that a flight contained illegal drugs, and supposing that the security services have gone, searched, done everything they can do to ascertain that there's no drugs, why then flip the story and victimize, brutalize, quote unquote, the person who had suspicion of a plane containing illegal drugs? This is like so unusual, and it's appearing to be that the state is rather making it a safe haven for the drug dealers. I mean, because I was thinking that this brute of force will be used towards anybody who was in connection with the flight. But the reverse is what I'm seeing.
Not the person who came to.
The person who rather suspects is now being labeled as a state enemy, not the person who we think was the drug dealer. And this is a bit strange for me. Now,
is it not because of his inability to collaborate with the agencies to be able to?
I have never heard of somebody who suspects something being given that requirement of burden of proof. Let me put it in the sense that if I suspect a certain uncompleted building to be housing armed robbers, and I inform the police, and they go there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, and they see that it's an elderly woman and her niece or nephews that stay there, then they reverse and come to me who just suspected. I mean, in the UK and elsewhere, we know that the grandmothers are the ones who are always sort of poking noses in people's affairs and reporting people, and they are the number one CIAs in the UK. So I'm wondering why, the reverse. Do we have rights as whistleblowers in this country anymore? And if even a member of parliament who suspects something cannot now voice, then we the kinky makers and tailors and seamstresses on the road, we dare not see something and say something. Because if you should see something and say something, and it is, quote unquote, maybe a V8 that you suspected to have weaponry or drugs, and it is not the case, or it is the case, you are in trouble. The security agencies will be coming after you rather than going after that vehicle that you suspect. So, in concluding on this issue, I think that, listen, I'm troubled by the fact that we are disregarding the laws of the country in terms of the rights of individuals, and the state that should protect ordinary, voiceless people are now rather going after ordinary and voiceless people. And I'm not surprised that the media houses have even had some issues recently with the state, which, I mean, with regards to pressmen being harassed. And let me be very clear. Listen, I'm here for the rights of the individual, and I think that whistleblowers need to be protected. And this pathway that the NDC administration is taking is literally blowing away all the gains of people being comfortable to even tell the police anything, or people being comfortable to tell the state of any suspicious activity, either around the borders of this country or within our various communities. And this path will not help us. This path will rather empower criminals. This path will rather make it very difficult for well-meaning people to even alert the police when something bad happens, because everybody will be mute, and it wouldn't be see something, say something, but rather see something, keep mute. Because if you dare say something, instead of being hailed, quote unquote, as a whistleblower, you'd have issues. Look at Snowden and how many countries even protected him, to the extent that he had to even leave the Americas and all of that. Whistleblowers in the world are a different category of people, and every state, regardless of your armory, you need to work to show that you are for and you protect whistleblowers. So I'm waiting to see. There's a letter out to the Speaker of Parliament with reference to his directives to the to the security services, and the fact that they are not also above the law, and they should be quite careful, because this democracy we have should be guarded and protected. And when there's lawlessness amongst the people who should hold in high esteem the laws of this country, then they would allow anybody to then also be lawless. And that will be a state of anarchy, a state of lawlessness, and it will not help us. It will not help us. So the judiciary, I'm hoping, will make a statement sometime with regards to the flouting of the rules. And like I say, I'm not saying that members of parliament are supreme, but if an MP, not a former, a sitting MP is going through this, I can imagine what the ordinary guy who has nothing or no protection at all would go through if they should make a mistake of alerting the state machinery that, hey, that vehicle there, though it is owned by Griffin, I think there's something in there that will not help the state. And instead of going after Griffin, they reverse and rather go after you, who is just alerting or being suspicious.
Okay. Lawyer.
I believe, and I'd like to find out, what was the reason for the arrest? Have we been told?
Well, it has to do with
yes, we know what it has to do with.
Yeah.
But is there a particular reason for the arrest? Look, remember, President Mahama has already instructed that it be investigated by the security services.
Yeah.
And he actually pinpointed the Honorable...
Mentioned him
to work with the investigative bodies. He didn't say the committee. He said he, who is indicating that such happened, he should work with the committee. Is it that he's being arrested because he hasn't gone to meet the committee, the security services? Have they invited him and he has declined to come?
He said he had gotten no invitation from the security.
So I'm asking, I want to find the reasons for the arrest. Is it that they have new intelligence to show that Intim is guilty of something? But if for anything at all, invite him. Invite him. Let him come. Let him say, I'm not coming. As we sit here and we're talking about it, we don't know the actual reason why. And I don't understand how anybody would point a finger at President Mahama when he has actually indicated that it should be, what? Investigated. Not unless you're saying President Mahama is playing Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. He's doing one thing, saying one thing, and doing another. But I'm sure all of us on this table would say, President Mahama, we haven't seen him act in that way. Not unless it's hidden. Not unless that trait of him is hidden and we don't know. But what is the actual reason? That's one. Now, let me ask a question. And there was a warrant, right?
Well, they said they had no warrant. According to the minority who were present, they said they asked them if they had a warrant when they met them in the room. And they said they couldn't find one.
That is what the minority said.
Yeah.
The, what do you call it? The
security agency. Yes. Well, they have not come out to say they had it or not, but the minority said they questioned them.
That is the minority. We went there, so we don't know whether the minority are speaking the truth or whether they are lying. But the question I'm asking is that if they had a warrant, who in this country has the right to stop any arrest if there's a warrant? Who?
Nobody.
Well, they were unsuccessful yesterday.
Nobody. And they weren't successful because the opposition bigwigs went there and stopped it.
They couldn't overpower them?
Overpower who?
The minority.
It turns into
if they had a warrant.
It turns into fisticuffs.
If they had.
It turns into fisticuffs. And then the political thing now explodes. And Mahama wants to kill us. Look, the national security people, they are fighting with us because we want to protect our own. No.
But that's the power. That's the power that the warrant gives.
Wait.
Lawyer.
That's the power the warrant gives you. And I'm saying, does anybody have the right to stop an arrest with a warrant?
No.
Not parliamentarians, not even the president has that power. So why did the minority go and stop that arrest? You see, we create certain situations which now they are wrong and they're legal, which now become a right. Which now become a right. I do not think the opposition should have gone there to do what they... Let them arrest him. Let them take him to the police station and then go there. Go there. Are we not a democracy? Where in this world would you find them going to arrest, we always see the developed countries, that some personality, some politician has done wrong? And I can only use Britain because that is where I know. One big wig in government, Labour Party, has said something which the security forces feel that they have some intel on it, and they've gone to arrest him. Then the whole Labour people go to his house and say, we won't allow you to arrest him. Where does that happen?
They'll go through the appropriate...
Where does that happen? You go through the appropriate channels. And you see, the thing, even if they didn't go through the right channels, once they take him to the police station, go there. Afenyo Markin is a lawyer, well-known lawyer, good lawyer at that. He knows the law.
Well, they are not working with the law, so...
Whatever, the two wrongs don't make a right. Two wrongs.
How do you know they are not
Two wrongs, wait, two wrongs never make a right. So yes, let's say they didn't have a warrant, they went to do it. You as a lawyer, would you also do the same thing? You say, okay, you take him. We'll meet you at the police station. Get him a lawyer and let it go through the process. This kind of thing, it instigates party members and people like that to do similar things. So what kind of democracy are we practicing? Do we understand what it means, this democracy, when we do things like this? That people who are members who the people have voted you to go and represent us. You see, the major challenge...
Let me even add, I beg you, if you look at the way these national security guys were even dressed, forgive me, it's very unprofessional. I would think that the armed robbers come into my house.
Lawyer, how do the national security...
You have to,
initiate...
What documents do they have?
How do they... Is there
what documents do they have?
Because we understand some of them had guns and all of that.
You have to show me appropriate authority.
I do not understand why you are going to arrest a member of parliament who isn't an armed robber, who you don't know that you have found arms in his church, or you have found arms in his car, that you go with an AK-47.
Yielding
For what? You went there, so you don't know whether they were yielding.
Well, I mean...
Don't let us add Sansan to Gary. What is in there? Don't let us talk about it, because then it goes out there as if that is what happened.
You know.
The pictures they are showing us, they are not showing us the pictures of the...
I will show you.
The national security
going there. Exactly.
I'll show
you. Go.
I have videos.
You go, and then you do what? You introduce who you are and show who you are. This
and
is
the
who
right
I am.
to arrest.
This is who I am. This is the reason why I'm here. This is the warrant, and this is why we are arresting you. Period.
And if you don't have those
Period.
things,
and if you have a right to search his house, indicate why you are searching and what you're looking for. There. And go in and do your search. Do your search in such a way that it doesn't in any way obstruct anything or destroy anything in the house. Because once you do the search, you need to take a log of all the things and processes you took to do the search. But this kind of thing, this Choboy kind of thing, is wrong. Our members of parliament should show respect for themselves and for issues like this. This politics that we play does not help us, because you see, right now, it is more party than country. And that is one of the challenges we are going through with our politicians today, especially parliamentarians. Especially parliamentarians.
But they have immunities, which we cannot...
The fact that you have immunity doesn't mean that you should use...
trample over it.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
The Constitution gives them.
Wait. I'm not questioning the immunity.
Yes.
But if you have immunity and they come and arrest you, you get to the police station, Parliament should be able to work with the police to tell them...
They haven't worked with the laid out rules.
Please, wait. You haven't worked with the Constitution as per arresting a parliamentarian. Was the gentleman on his way to Parliament?
No.
At the time was he on his way to Parliament? He was at home. What time did they go there?
That was in the afternoon.
Afternoon. So I don't see why we should make a fanfare of this, because you know what's going to happen? Even if in Team Fordjour what he's saying is economical with the truth, it's now going to take it into a different dimension. As if what he said, because remember, he showed no evidence.
Yeah.
Nothing. He showed no evidence whatsoever.
Suspicion.
It is now going to catapult it into an area where you feel what in Team Fordjour was saying is true, and the government wants to hide something. And maybe there's nothing to hide.
Okay. I'll come back to you. Let me take the thoughts of Griffiths as well.
My brother, yesterday, I was very sad yesterday for our democracy. And at the same time, I was very angry because the MPP haven't learned anything from what happened to them in the 2024 elections. They keep insulting the intelligence of Ghanaians. Now, let me begin by, telling your viewers who Reverend Intim Fordjour is. He has a bachelor's in minerals engineering. Then he has a master's in economic policy and anti-corruption methods. Then he has a certificate in anti-corruption methods from Georgetown University, Washington, D.C. He's currently pursuing a PhD in political science. He's a reverend minister and a senior pastor at Victory Bible Church International, Higher Heights Sanctuary, located at East Legon. Politically, this is his third term in office, Parliament. He served on the Foreign Affairs Committee, his first time in Parliament, in the second time in Parliament. He's currently on the Defense.
Interior and Defense ranking member.
Ranking member.
He's a spokesperson for that as well.
Thank you. Now, on his CV, he prides himself as an advocate for ethical fiscal governance. Let me indicate here that if I come across intelligence that there is cocaine hidden at Amasaman, I will go to the police, the CID, or the intelligence agencies to report to them. Why would I do that? I will do that because if I put the information in a public domain, I have even alerted the perpetrators to cover their tracks. So my first, if I mean not to be if I'm not a propagandist who is trying to throw dust in the eyes of Ghanaians, the media will not be the first place I will do that, to alert the perpetrators that somebody has picked that you have cocaine hidden in Amasaman, for them to hide them somewhere else. Reverend Intim Fordjour came, according to him, came across intelligence that some aircrafts had brought in, had come into the country. The Air Med flight NA323 came into the country. There was no passenger on board. And so according to him, they either brought in or picked up drugs or what have you. Or it has to do with. And then there was also a cargo flight, B-12, that also came in. So what did he do? He holds a press conference in the name of the Minority Caucus and alleges that there are some fishy deals with drugs and money laundering. He doesn't go to the police. When my brother was speaking, he let out the truth. He said that if I report to the police that a car contains weapons and the police come to arrest me, what is happening in this country? That is what he said. Then he made another example. And if I report an uncompleted building is harboring armed robbers, and I go and report it to the police, and they go there and they don't find anything, then they return to me as describing what has happened. Well, I have news for him. Reverend Intim Fordjour didn't go to the police. And he should not refer to him as a whistleblower. He is a propagandist. And I don't blame the MPP. Why?
But the minority thinks that he was working for all of them, because this is something that they all were aware.
Either he is...
And he was just the one...
Let me tell you, we know this guy is
he was working on his own.
We know Intim Fordjour is not a stupid guy. He's a very smart individual.
So,
you see, his actions...
So there's a thin line between propagandists and whistleblowers.
Let me say this. His actions puts him in two categories. Either he's dumb, which we know he's not, or he's a propagandist. And you see, let me finish.
Who's the best propagandist in this country?
Oh, I beg you, my brother. My brother. You see, I don't blame the MPP.
So you agree with the NIB the way they went about what they did yesterday?
Of course I do agree with them. First of all, we sat here and bastardized them for going to the former governor of Bank of Ghana's residence. Yeah. Look, it turned out they had a warrant. You see, the fact that they are slow to put out information does not mean that, you know, as we are sitting here, we can all say with absolute degree of certainty that they went there without a warrant.
No, I'm not saying
we can say that.
I'm saying that they should have.
Please. You see, but let me tell you the strategy they are using. A day that we are talking about some aircrafts that, whether brought what have you or whatever, it's a day we don't talk about Kwame Jantuah's scandals of, you know, duping this country 7 million, a contract that was $1.7 million and taking $7 million, buying 27 houses.
But that issue has been handled. It's already,
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you.
Doesn't mean that we shouldn't.
I'm just telling you how to flash out the news cycle.
So this was intentional.
As a proper, of course,
this was intentional. They brought this out.
Of course,
to make sure that people's attention.
Now, the president has done what he's supposed to do. He says, look, I am directing that investigations be conducted, not only by one institution. It's not a clearing agent. If if he finds anybody involved in this, he will be dealt with. And he says the Narcotics Control Commission, I mean, these are institutions with a mandate to investigate. And then he said that the honorable member of parliament should collaborate with the appropriate institutions so that the investigate, whether through the speaker or through the wife or through whatever you. The most important is you can't put out such information in the public domain and refuse to collaborate when they are asking you for specifics for them to be able to deal with the perpetrators.
Through Parliament.
You can do that.
But you also believe that they could have done in a way.
Which way?
Better than what they did, right?
Give me an example.
Based on what the speaker has put out already.
We don't know that.
When you're dealing with members of parliament.
Let me put it this way. We don't know the facts of the matter as we are sitting here. Like I told you that we sat here.
And that is a fact. That is already out there. How you go about this?
They are even being too nice. To be honest with you, they are being too nice to him. To be honest, look, somebody of this caliber. Let me ask you.
Guilty before.
Let me ask you this: if you find out that I have cocaine in my car parked outside, and then you go to the next station or you put it out on air here, that do you know that Griffith's car sitting outside has cocaine in the trunk? What will happen? Will the driver drive away with the cocaine?
In fact, let me.
Why don't you, as you are sitting here, make a silent call to the intelligence agencies and alert them that this is what is happening. Come right now. There's cocaine in this. Is that not what a right-meaning Ghanaian would do?
A well-meaning.
A well-meaning Ghanaian would do. I mean, how can you come up with such, information, such intelligence, and you thought that the first point of call is to address the media?
Okay.
What would the media be doing? And wouldn't that allow the people to hide whatever they are doing?
My key thing, though, is
and the NPP is celebrating such a person.
Let me celebrate.
Oh my goodness.
Do a quick one for me. Let me get some messages and I'll get back to you.
Get serious as a country.
I didn't come here to celebrate. My only point is that, listen, ordinary, well-meaning people, if they suspect something, and
we'll have to go to the police.
They make an alert or give an alert
to the media.
You don't then come back at them. Listen.
But honorable, do you think that maybe if the minority caucus actually had a second look at this and they rather went to the authorities or the security agencies and mentioned this to them,
we don't even know if that was explored
right now.
As we speak, we don't know if
it was something that was done.
As we speak, we all do not know if that was even explored.
Yeah, but you think it was something they would have done?
It may have been explored and not.
They didn't get the results.
They didn't get the results.
So they decided to come out to do it.
Who told you that? They did.
Listen, this reminds me of. Let me help you out here. When we came out strong on finance minister as members of parliament, if I tell you the internal explorations we did, you'd be surprised. And people thought that we just came to the media without trying all the internal channels. We did, but we didn't get the buzz, we didn't get the attention, and we said that, listen, okay, if we've exhausted all the things we can do internally, and the president at the time was not ready to meet us, then we might as well let the world know that, listen, this is our stand, we've tried, and many people even to date still think that we did not.
But this issue has traveled days and weeks.
No, I'm just saying.
You think the minority wouldn't have come out right now?
It would have come out to say
this is what we did
and
we didn't get the results, and that's what we came out.
If they had indeed reported it to anybody, they would have stated it.
No, it's the same thing you're saying here, that the security services have a warrant, but they haven't come out.
Because I was referring to...
But it's less than 24 hours.
Really?
This other issue
how much
has
time
been
do you
weeks. It's been back and forth. He's released...
If not for propaganda,
all the recordings I've seen, I haven't seen even a single proof of identification when they got there. I haven't. And let me be very categorical here that, listen, even if you are national security, do not encourage armed robbers to do what you're doing. Because when you come out dressed this way, without authorization and paperwork and appropriate documentation, people enter people's homes saying that they are national security.
But do you know the reason
do all kinds of things.
Do you know the reason why they went there? We don't know the reason.
My point is that that is not how we I mean, listen,
you are worried about the way they were dressed and how they went in there.
We need, and even let me add that, listen, you need to do the right thing. The process of even arrest, if it is wrong or mad, you put the state in a very bad state. And people who are arrested wrongfully, I mean, listen, look at the many movies we see. When the police arrest somebody, they make sure that they tell them their rights. I mean, all of these things are for a reason. So I'm here only screaming that individual rights need to be protected.
Go ahead and tell go ahead and tell
doing the right thing also.
Anything you say could be used against you in court. There, they tell you.
So anyway, let me get some messages, reactions from our viewers, and I'll get back so we can maybe wrap it up. We've got a few minutes to do. This one says, KMJ, what is the NPP man talking about? They were in power for 8 years and couldn't stop Galamsey, but want the current government to stop it in 3 months. What kind of logic is that? The NPP used the same NIB to arrest many NDC MPs when they took over power in 2017, including Honorable Kobna Donko, now Honorable John Jinapo, and many more. Look at them today behaving and talking as if they were more superior Ghanaians than the rest of us. We're still waiting to see the thieves protected and jailed from what inside Asasatre Elembele. This one over here says, good morning, host. Galamsey is a state-sponsored genocide by NPP officials who made laws to destroy forest reserves to make money. Let's declare a state of emergency and prosecute Akufo-Addo and his officials at ICC for flouting UN Resolution 2375, which declares water pollution an act of terrorism and crime humanity. NPP must stop shedding crocodile tears because they legalized Galamsey and promoted it for 8 years, but expected to end in 3 months. Enough of the mischief. Master Planner Junior in Kintampo says, I don't know why the NDC are more interested in who Reverend Tim Fordjour than doing a thorough investigations into the suspicious flights. What are they hiding? You can't ask someone to provide evidence based on suspicions. You rather investigate and come out with your findings. If you have nothing to hide, stop the unnecessary personal attacks and do the investigations. All right. Another one over here says that, good morning, Joy Prime. John Mahama and his NDC is now lawless government going around arresting opponents, journalists, and even MPs, while their party members are in our forest destroying our water bodies in the name of Galamsey. They promise Ghanaian jobs and not lawless state. They should stop the work on their one job, 3 people, Women Bank, free SHS to private schools, and their big push. That is what Ghanaians want to see. And a covered up arresters. God is with us. Christian from Sandima sent in that. This one over here says, good morning. I'm Emmanuel Amufa Adanse Akrofom. It's unfortunate on the part of Mr. Jantuah and Mr. Griffiths to express themselves the way they are doing today. KMJ, please kindly ask them for me that on what grounds do a person needs to be arrested? And also, what exactly has Mr. Tim Fordjour done to effect that arrest? It is because he has reviewed the cocaine saga involving the government. That's a question mark you put over there. Now, good morning, Mr. Host. Say again.
You asked that question. Why he's been arrested?
Yeah.
So, what is he saying?
Good morning, Mr. Host. The NPP is clouded by the 2024 defeat, so do not waste your precious time discussing them. Moses and Mr. Rapone sent in that. They are awake, very much awake right now. They still remain the mighty minority, by the way. Good morning, KMJ. NPP never again and again. Tell NPP man to keep quiet. The more they talk, the more we become angry with them. By Bedman, Polibu, and Wa, and be coming down. This one over here, I wrote a very long one. It says, good morning, KMJ. There's a certain trend going on under this government, and it's not healthy for our democracy. They threaten everyone who speaks against government with arrest. We cannot go back to the era of state silence. Most bizarre and absurd thoughts is anyone that thinks Tim Fordjour is supposed to provide any evidence. That an air ambulance lands from a notorious drug island. Same week, 350 million US dollars worth of cocaine busted in Ghana. That there was Tumso at Kotoka around the same time this ambulance was departing Kotoka. That this Ahmed actually carried no patient, came straight to Ghana and flew back to the island straight from Ghana without any patient. An MP whose ranking member of Defense and Interior demands government and security agencies to investigate the presence of those aeroplanes in our jurisdiction who have no business here. The MP, with good reason of suspicion of this plane, should be the one to bring evidence after giving the lead. Were those planes here or not? Did they have any business here or not? Government should be very careful how they handle this very issue after government spokesperson has raised a lot of contradiction in the whole scenario. Kefren Pong puts in that and always come with us long right taps, but I appreciate that. Good morning. Ghana has become a funny nation because I can't imagine the FBI of US, KMJ, the KGM of Russia, or the Mossad of Israel going to arrest an MP who failed to provide evidence to an allegation that he made them. Then his party members block and prevent the arrest. Those who prevent the arrest would have been dealt with more than the offender. Justin from Amasaman sent in that. Mensa Majid is from Bechom, Toronto, and it says, I wonder why people are lamenting about the invitation of Reverend Fordjour. National Security arrested Honorable Dafiamoko and Honorable Xavier Sosu in a Rambo style under ex-President Anado. Were they not MPs? The hypocrisy in this country is getting out of hand. NIB has pampered Reverend Fordjour for a while. How can an honorable member of parliament lie or deceive the public without any evidence to substantiate his claims? My regards to Honorable Charles Akwesi Asiedu, the Wokalek MP for Tano. Now let me go to the next one over here. It says, good morning, KMJ. This is Abdul Ganyu, and we should stop deluding ourselves about this government's commitment to fighting Galamsey. Whatever actions they seem to be taking against them, many are cosmetic at best, for there is no real intent to deal with illegal mining on the part of this administration. How can a government that claims to be against illegal mining also form a part with the Chinese government in an agreement named Ghana-China Mining and still go about boasting about fighting Galamsey? Who are the real experts in Galamsey? The Chinese? These are the people plundering our resources, destroying our lands, polluting our water bodies, and causing irreparable damage to our environment. Not a single warrant has been issued to Reverend John Tim Fordjour, just that so-called animal order from above, and we won't accept that. Mr. Jantuah, in fact, I'm disappointed in you for speaking such a manner as a lawyer. How did he speak? Good morning. Please let the NDC government know that some of us in the NPP left the NPP party because of Galamsey. And it's unfortunate that the NDC government is doing exactly what the NPP did. Now I have seen that the two major parties are just deceiving Ghanaians by making money for themselves. And that's from Lawrence in Konya, Uropong. And let me go to teacher Kojo in Tepa. He says, this dirty partisan politics is destroying the country. What is the need for this Rambo-style arrest of Honorable Reverend Hinton Fordjour? Instead of contacting the MP to provide you with the information you need to assist in your investigation, you are intimidating him. What unsubstantiated allegations, lies, and inflammatory utterances haven't you NDC members made? Were you arrested? We were not spectators, but citizens. Greetings to Chairman Odino Kwaku Apia. Okay, let me go to this one over here. It says, good morning, KMJ. Honorable Hinton Fordjour should think of Almighty God and Judgment Day and should let us have our peace. Ishaki sent in that. Let me go to this one over here from Alasam Sese. It says, good morning to everyone. In fact, Galamsey is a deadly canker which doesn't know any party color, which doesn't know any individual status in society, and which, if not tackled very well, is going to kill all of us. I trust that JDM can fight it and fight it well. But I will be very disappointed if government repatriate the Chinese Galamseyers that have been arrested. The government should prosecute them in this country as they are prosecuting the citizens who owns this minerals resources. As for Hinton Fordjour and the NPP, they should be more patriotic and take off their party caps and cooperate with the security services to prove and provide evidence of their so reliable and intelligence that they claim they have, and stop wasting all of our time. The state reputation is at stake with the reckless statement from Hinton Fordjour. Yeah, do a last one. This government purely came to intimidate the opposition. The appointees are very arrogant and doing everything possible to create enemies among the citizens. This looks like a military junta government. Shame on them. And that's from Gasti Man in Brekum. This one over here says that, good morning to you all. Look, any NPP member who peddle falsehood or allegation must come with evidence or proof to back it. We will not allow it. It was same lies and strategy they used in 2016 to defeat us. The MP should come with intelligence. The Ramos-style arrest started in the previous government. Have they forgotten so soon? Intimidation from where we are fully prepared for them. It is only the laws of this country that will work again. From Big J in Tamale. And this one over here says, KMJ, from Awudu Idrisu from Yeji. It says, a message to the NDC, a mistake that makes you humble better than a mistake that makes you arrogant. This John Dramani Mahama NDC government is blackmailing the name of Ghana at the international level due to allegations put out by one MP. The entire national security is failing. Can I be an ordinary person, give out suspected intel? What a terrible regime of insecurities at different levels. My greetings to Honorable Mohammed Haruna, the immediate pastor, Pro East MC. All right, so let me just, a few messages we'll probably look at a bit later. I don't know if we can do a wrapping up comments and then a quick one on the Okada riders. But, lawyer, you want to say anything before we move on to that?
Did Team Fordjour give us evidence? And if he had evidence, the way he came up with that evidence, the way he came up to tell the public, was that the right way to go? When you identify a problem, is it social media you go on? Do you have a press conference? When you are actually the opposition's ranking member on the committee, did you confide in your ranking member? Okay, you didn't go to your ranking member. Did you go to the speaker?
But they are supporting him now. The caucus is supporting him now. They said it was a collective.
I'm saying initially.
Before coming out.
Initially, before coming
to put it out there.
Who did he discuss it with within the committee? Has he said so? And remember, it's a criminal offense to give false information. Has he been able to prove what he said? Or is he relying on the investigative agencies to prove on his behalf? So I say, KMJ, you sat in my car. I had $1,000 in my glove compartment. When you sat in my car, it's gone. There's no evidence to show that you took the money. I need to be able to show evidence to do what?
To prove that indeed.
To prove that. So it goes to court. Mr. Jantuah, where's your evidence? Oh, because he sat in my car, he took it. Is that evidence enough? It can't be. So if for anything at all, when the security service people went there, NIB went there, depending on why he was being arrested, if he was being arrested for what he said, there and there, he could have told them, I have evidence of what I said. Let's go to the police station, I'll write a statement, and I will show you the evidence. Has that happened?
Not yet. Okay, let's move on to our next issue. Maybe we'll do
the thing that we should be very mindful of, do you think a president will sit in Flagstaff House and instruct the national security, go and arrest the man?
No.
Do you think so?
No.
Or
I don't think so.
President Mahama is being pointed fingers at because the buck stops with him? From what we've seen from the beginning of President Mahama coming in, all the things he says he would do, he has done. He's even gone a step further to say, if you mess up, I'll mess you up. When he met the SOEs, apparently he indicated to them who feels that the position given them, they cannot handle it. If you feel that, leave. Walk out. Yeah. Walk out. So, look, I want a situation where we always stop playing politics with issues. Yes, sometimes we have to play politics, but not with issues like this. The integrity of the man is being questioned. It could be true. And when you read and I have done some investigation with that med flight, and they sent a situation, we don't have time, I would have read it, why the flight was here. It was because it broke down. It didn't only stop in Ghana. It stopped in different countries before it broke down. They brought another aircraft with parts and whatever, fixed it, and then left. Where is the evidence that there was money laundering? There was drugs. Where is the evidence? I would like a situation where this particular issue doesn't run. Let's try and sort it out. The president has said, in Team Fordjour, deal with the security services and let's find an end. They are grave issues. The Galamsey is a grave issue, not this.
All right.
The minority should be talking about Galamsey and how we stop it, not going to Team Fordjour's house to go and do choboy.
Okay, let's look at another issue that seems to be rearing its head. That's the Okada riders issue, and we've got a video. Let's take that quickly, and then Honorable, I'll start with you.
The Okada riders.
Ali Abdulrazak.
Okay, how old are you?
Oh, like I'm 25 years old. They say 25 years and above, and mostly plenty of us is under, because some of us is like 20, 18, 19. So like if they say they want 25 and above, that means plenty of us will not do the Okada. And then that Okada is also helping us. If that one we do and be dropping small. If they can take it like 18 and above, like 18, 19 to 25. You know.
My name is Tijani, Mohammed Tijani.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 25, 26 going. I completed SSS. It's somehow, because the way they say they will do it, it will disturb some people. It will disturb most of us, because as we are sitting here, some are 18 going and some are 25, 18 and above. So if they say they will cut it around 25, or those who are around 28, you see, they will cut them off.
My name is Mutawakel.
Come again.
Mutawakel.
Okay, how old are you?
29.
29. What's your level of education?
Class 5.
He said you organize a training. Do you think you'll be able to pick up whatever they teach you? Will you be able to learn whatever they're able to teach you?
If they pick me, I'll know how to.
You'll be able to learn it. Okay. And you'll be able to abide by the rules and regulations.
Yes.
My name is Abdul Samed.
Okay, how old are you?
Let's say 40 years.
What's your level of education?
No, the education there, I would say 0.
0.
Yeah.
Okay. So with the new Okada bill there'll be a training for the Okada riders. Do you think you'll be able to learn whatever they will teach you?
Yeah, so far I will do the job inside there. If we don't come to learn, and we will learn.
Ali Abdulrazak.
Okay, how old are you?
Very interesting conversation over there. But that's our next topic. Let's say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise. Kindness Kedison, we got news flash this morning. Honorable, let me start off with you. 25 years. Now, a lot of these people are claiming they are all 25 and above. You think it's the correct measure to check the issues of motorcycle Okada riders on our roads?
First of all, I think motorcyclists stopping when the lights are red should be looked at. There are many things that cyclists do wrong in this country that I think should be checked. If we had done that first, then maybe legalizing motorcycles being used for commercial purposes. And I'm of the school of thought that we should limit it to cargo, but not humans. And I would have hoped that, quote unquote, the Okada riding should have been for movement of goods, not for persons. Not persons. And I say this with the greatest of respect, largely because of the accidents related to Okada riders. And if the Okada rider is 25 years and he's riding with a 16-year-old, what are we going to do about that? we're back at square one. So in the interest of public safety, they should review it. It's nice that the government is trying to create a pathway to legalizing it.
Yeah.
But I think that what is for me important is that we maybe start off with movement of just goods. Now, if it was just goods, then even the 25-year age limit may not be necessary. Because if you have a 16-year-old, 17-year-old who's a good rider, it doesn't matter, what age. They can move the goods quite easily around. But my major concern is that the age limit of those who are even riding, and for that matter, I think should be looked at. But it's something that, as a nation, I think where we're getting there, and we need it. In addition to this, some areas should be restricted where Okada riding doesn't happen.
Okay.
I mean, listen, I drive on the Tema motorway and I'm asking myself, how do these motor riders get on this highway? The N1 and things like that. I mean, quite frankly, I think we need to have some restricted areas so that if you're within Tema enclave, you can do your Okada riding, but you not cross over from Tema to
on the motorway
on the motorway to Accra. I just think that these are things to curb accidents on the highways, and that's just my thought about these things. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Griffiths, you think that the transport minister will be successful with this? We've had this conversation before.
Well, first of all, I didn't think I shouldn't say it, put it that way. I agree with my brother here.
Initially, you disagreed?
No. I mean, we've always had our... But the issue is that some of the points he has made, that we should be a bit careful with this policy. However, I want to also state that Okada has been with us, not just under Nana Akufo-Addo's administration, previous administrations. It is with us today. It didn't stop upon the inauguration of President Mahama on 7th of January. And I believe that no matter the efforts that have been put to stop it in the past, especially by the MPP administration, the recent MP administration, it hasn't stopped. And it doesn't look like it is going to stop, So why not look at it and see how you can legalize and then you can regulate? I think that is the approach of the government. When you look at motorcycle-related fatalities, it accounts for 34%, when in actual fact, they form only 15% of our transports. I mean, not just Okada, all motorcycles. So it tells you that there's a disproportionate fatalities associated with motorcycles in this country. Not just in this country, everywhere in the world. So in trying to legalize it so that you can have a better way of controlling it, you need to look at the measures that you put together to ensure that, it is done in a much safer way than it's being done. There's allegations that some foreigners come here, and take advantage of this Okada business and blah, blah, blah. Okay, they say, have a national ID, a valid national ID. Just like you would when you are going to register register your vehicle. Good. And the best part of this, I think, is the distinction between the private ones and the commercial ones. They will have a different license plate. Good. Must undergo training and be assigned unique yellow license plate. That's what I just said. So they will be trained on how to use the roads safely. And then you must wear a helmet. Not only should you wear a helmet, but your passengers should also wear a helmet and obey all traffic laws and speed regulations. I think that's the best part, which means that once you have made that step to afford them the opportunity to legally engage, they have associations, just like the GPRT did a fantastic job under President Rawlings when they formed their own transport union and collection of tax and everything was channeled through that. And they themselves had their own, quote unquote, some police people wearing blue and red, this thing, that will check you if you go against it. So I think this is a very good step. I know they have an association, they have engaged.
Well, and the association is not happy about it.
They are not happy about their 25 years.
Exactly.
I teach actuarial statistics, and I can tell you that majority, believe it or not, majority of the accidents that occur are between the age of 17. And because, you know, in the developed world, people can hold licenses at 17. 17 and 24. So that perhaps informed the decision. If you go to the UK, let me give you some figures here. If you go to the UK...
Please do it under 2 minutes for me, and then...
If you go to the UK, insurance for the average driver is £700. For those under 24, it is £1,986. The US is no different. Insurance for those between the age bracket 17 and 24 is annual, $5,200. Whereas above 25, it drops to $22,000. So it tells you that there is some associated risk with that age bracket. So perhaps that is what informed. I'm not saying that it's still a law that is in the working, right?
Yeah.
And I know the association people have engaged, but I'm just giving you some statistics that may point to the reasoning behind the cutoff of 25 for the 25. Okay. So I think that it is a good policy. I agree that it shouldn't be on all roads. I agree. The motorway, I told you that for once I agree with my brother.
Okay, so that was where I agree.
The motorway, for example, so we should look at that.
Okay.
And I'm glad that he's a member of parliament and
former
okay.
Yeah.
Well, from your lips to God's ears, I hope that the government will take heed of some of these inputs. Remember, we sat here and said that we should look at the importation of what is it called?
Motorbike?
No, the importation of, when we're talking about Galamsey, the importation of excavators.
Okay, excavators.
Now you see, it is going into government policy now. So I hope, that's why I said from your lips to God's ears, I hope that the powers that be would take a look at it and see how.
All right. Lawyer, you have our last...
You didn't read something when you were reading the...
was a message?
Text messages. Somebody sent
editorial right.
Sent a message.
Editorial right.
One, I don't want to butcher his name, but I'll try to pronounce it. Imbrochi Bitami Gideon. He says, and I quote, ask Jantuah if he has willed his conscience to NDC. Upon seeing the way these purported security men are dressed, he still do not see anything wrong with that. Did I mention anything about security? My opinion is what I am saying. You might not agree with my opinion, but I'm not the kind of person who would just support just for support.
Like CPP, he's not an NDC.
When MPP were in power, I said something for him. Hey, he's MPP. Say he's NDC. Please, I'm a CPP man, and I only believe in the right thing being done. Now, to go to the substantive matter. The DVLA Act says that driving for commercial purposes, a person must be 25 years, not 18. So if we want 25 years to be scrapped, then we should amend the law. We will be the same people who will stand on top of the mountain top and shout. We are doing what? We are flouting the laws because the DVLA law does not allow that to happen. So if we want that to happen, let's do what? let's amend the law. But
the LI 2080.
Yes.
2180.
KMJ, Okada has become part of our transport mix. I would say we should look at our education. An education where you go for the first 3 years, you don't make it to the next, you are put on the heap. How do you expect them to live? How? Yes, the way these Okada drivers drive on the roads, it is dangerous because your car can be moving. They'll cut you. When you overtake, you don't overtake on the blind side. You overtake on the side the driver can see you. They overtake on the blind side. And when they are coming, what do? Beep, trying to distract you, the driver. So you driving, you have to think for people on the streets. Look, how come Rwanda has been able to handle Okada to a T? How come? I believe that if we are going to do what we want to do, then the Okada drivers themselves and the association should do what? Should police them. And anybody who steps out of line, do something. We should have situations where they themselves, and maybe it could be used arbitrarily, but anybody who does not ride the Okada properly should do what? Their bikes should be locked. Look, when you go to the rural areas, our farmers, they use Okada to go to the farm. They use Zipragia to pack foodstuffs to bring to the center. Aboboya and all that. It helps. It creates employment. It is not the kind of employment we want. I would want a situation where government will say, okay, for the next 4 or 5 years, we are going to make sure that gradually we do what? We take Okada off the streets because we are going to make sure we have a good transportation system. Isn't it all because of transport? Isn't it all because people want to go from A to B? Yeah. And if we had good public transport, would we have Okada? No. Would we have Okada? So why aren't we looking at that? Because then we don't manufacture these bikes in Ghana, do we? We use our dollars to import the bikes in. It's capital flight. Yes, legalize it. But as you legalize it, remember, you'd have to bring more motorbikes in if you are not assembling here. And even now, the South Koreans have come up with electric bikes. Are we going to gradually wean people off fossil fuel bikes and bring in electric bikes? Because really and truly, that's the most easiest things to bring in. Yesterday, I saw electric buses, public electric buses on the roads. Yeah. It means it has started coming in. So if we're going to formalize this and make it better, let's put the right things in place in terms of the types of motorbikes. Let's put the right legislation in place and let's be able to enforce the laws. Okay. Because really and truly, the way Okada drivers are driving today, me sometimes when I go to Kumasi and I want to go somewhere, I take the yellow, I sit in it and go where I want to go. Okay. It is not a bad form of transport, but it's the kind of transport that can also cause problems. Because when you go to the hospitals, and I hear, Doc, correct me if I'm wrong, they say when you go to the hospital and you're a Okada driver and your hand is broken, or you have a serious, what do you call it? Injury. To show you sense, they will amputate it for you. Okay. They will amputate it for you. Next time when you are sitting on that, you learn sense. All right. On that note, our time is up this morning. I'd like to say...
To be fair to the Ghana Medical Association, which I'm a part of, we don't take that decision. Yeah, I'm sure. We don't. This is the public opinion. We will save every limb.
I was going to defend them too,
every limb.
Even though I'm not part of them.
We will save every limb.
Thank you very much. It's also Kwame Jantuah. He's a former director of National Identification Authority, and of course, Honorable Adomako Kisi also joining us this morning, former MP for Anyaso Wutuom, and Lawyer Jantuah is a big
now NDC.
Oh, really? He's reached already. He's not part of them.
I'm just quoting from the guy.
No, let's make him the flag bearer of CPP, then all this will stop.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Anyway, a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise this morning.
By the way, how is our vice president doing? Have you heard anything?
She's recuperating. I understand that she'll be coming back to office very soon.
Good.